Hi guys, welcome back to my DIY channel, and I've got a little bit of a problem. Can you guess what it is? Yeah, it's termites, and I discovered a colony in the bathroom wall, which sucks, but the good news is you can treat it yourself for a fraction of the cost that a pro would charge you to treat your whole house. So let's talk about how we're gonna do it. And I've split this video into two different parts. We're gonna do the interior treatment and then the exterior treatment. And let's talk about the different products I'm gonna be using. I'm gonna be using from Home Depot this termiticide, which is the spray foam that you can put right into the drywall or the actual stud itself. So I'm gonna be using that for the interior of the termite treatment. And then I have this great chemical called Taurus SC. This is often what pros use. And I got this from a specialty DIY pest control company, and I'll put the link in the description below. But this is what I'm gonna be using to treat the entire exterior and the perimeter of my house. This is 78 ounces, so like 2/3 of a gallon. It's pretty big. And it's a concentrate, and we're gonna mix it and dilute it into water, and then I'll show you how we treat the exterior of the home. So I'm set up with these two products, these two chemicals, which are going to eliminate my termite problem, hopefully, fingers crossed, in the next 3 months, because it takes some time to effectively terminate the termites. So without further ado, let's get going on the treatment. All right, I'm in my bathroom. I got my work shirt on. I'm ready to kill some termites. So the frustrating part about where the termites are located and where they seem to be feasting on this one stud in my bathroom is that it's located right behind this bathroom vanity that I have. So it's gonna make access a little trickier. However, all I'm gonna do is use the same tools. I'm gonna use a drill to come at it and get in and around this stud so that I can get that foam and that termiticide into the wall and into the stud so that we can kill some termites. So let's take a look at how I discovered where the termites were located, and then we'll get started on some prep work, and I'll show you what I'm gonna be doing to make sure that we effectively get all these termites taken care of. All right, so we're taking a look at the left-hand side of the bathroom wall here, and you'll immediately start to notice that there's this mound of sawdust, which means that these termites are being well fed, and I believe that it's coming from a stud right behind here. That's where the vanity is screwed into the wall. And I'm glad that it's visible, because otherwise I would have missed it. If it was deeper under this floating vanity, I might not have seen it for multiple years. So I'll throw up a picture to show you what the mound looked like previously. I cleaned it, kept my eye on it, and now it's back. So that means that we have an issue that we need to take care of. And I want to show you, again, access is limited because there's wood covering the wall here, and I have to drill through it to get to the stud. And I'm going to be drilling through the drywall on either side to make sure that we can get this termiticide in there and leave no stone unturned when it comes to killing these termites. So the first thing I want to do is prep the area, and in doing so, find that stud so that we make sure that we can drill right in and get that chemical in there. I think I found the stud. I was having a little bit of trouble locating it, but it lines up. If you look at this dust pile, it's like the width of a stud. And then if you go up through here, I was able to mark here. And then there's also this towel rack, which is likely in a stud, because generally you want to put them in studs. So it does seem, I tried to get the most accurate marks I could with the stud finder. It does seem to line up exactly like that. So I'm hoping to start drilling some holes right here, about maybe 18 inches, and then below here a little bit. I'm gonna try to maybe start below here before I go into the wood, and see if I can locate the stud with the drill, because it's a little bit easier. I'm not gonna be able to patch this very well, but I can patch drywall and paint it no problem. So I'm gonna start below where I think the stud is, and maybe up here before I try to get through this wood into the stud. Now let's take a look at the little nozzle or hose that comes with the termiticide. I'll zoom in on that. And again, it's very skinny, so all we need is a bit that's gonna be a little bit fatter than that. You can see that, and so that's all we need. We don't need to go ripping huge holes in the wall. If you've ever seen the pros do it, they have almost like needle-like guns that can get into the walls. You will not even notice that they're there. And so that's all we need. And now I'm gonna put this in the drill and then start making some holes so that we can get this chemical in the wall. So I did not hit wood right here, unfortunately. It kind of felt like masonry or something. I didn't hit insulation and I didn't really hit anything. So it's kind of confusing. I'm not totally confident that there's even a stud here, but the reason I'm trying to find a stud is because that's where the termites live. I know that there's a stud here. There's always studs, jack studs and king studs for windows and doors. But I am not confident where the stud is here. So that makes it a little bit trickier. But the good news is I'm just gonna be able to put a couple, small holes in that are easy to patch, just like nail holes. So if I keep missing, I can keep going without worry. But eventually I gotta find something and then be able to get this chemical in the wall. All right, good news. I found the stud. Second set of holes over here. It was just 5 inches to the right. So that's the good news. I pulled out wood shavings. I know it's a stud, so I don't know what was going on. I was wrong about this being a stud. I thought it was. But the good news is now I can track upwards and know where the stud is. And the termites are somewhere in this area and we're gonna get them. All right, so the stud should be right here. I adjusted my tape marks. If you have a rubber hammer, you can take it along the wall and with a finely tuned ear, listen for where the stud is, like this. That's kind of empty wall. Empty wall. I'm hoping that there's a stud right here. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but that's the beauty of the DIY mentality. We'll figure it out as we go. All right, check it out. Sawdust from wood, beautiful. So I figured out where the stud was. It was deeper into the wall than I thought, but good news is now I can make a series of holes that will allow us to get this termiticide into the wall and hopefully eliminate these termites. So a little bit of extra work because the stud was a little bit more mysterious than I was expecting, but now we can get to work. So I got about 15 different holes drilled ready for the termiticide foam. You can see up and down the stud here, and then I have some on the outside so we can get into the wall and coat the stud from the outsides as well. So when I'm done, I can patch this with drywall putty as well as some wood filler down here where I drilled into the vanity. So now I can get the termiticide foam. Got to shake up the bottle and get it into the wall. So let's give it a try. So the interior treatment is now done. I used almost all of this can and it's now in the wall. So I took about 20 minutes, about 1 minute per hole, squeezing the trigger down, making sure all the foam gets in there. So I'm pretty confident I hit all the areas. I went straight on, I went from the side, from different angles. And obviously the aftermath is you have a bunch of holes that you have to patch. So I have to do that at the end, but now interior treatment is done for the time being. and I'm gonna head outside now to prep for the exterior treatment, which is a little bit more laborious, and it's gonna take some prep work to make sure that we do the whole exterior properly. So let's head outside. All right, I am outside for the exterior treatment. I got my girlfriend Becca in the back who's gonna be helping out today. And I'll walk you guys through the specific steps that need to be done to do this DIY termite treatment outside. And again, it's a little bit more effort on the exterior because we need to effectively trench along the foundation of the house to make sure that we get this chemical dilution able to get into the ground and under the foundation so we can get those subterranean termites. So I'll walk you through what we're gonna be doing. Let's go take a look. All right, so I'm on the side of the house right now, and I'll show you guys this far edge. I have gravel all the way along the side of the house leading to a deck here. I'm not gonna be able to dig anything under the deck because it's inaccessible, but on this side, this is at the garage over here. And of course the garage has wooden studs. So you wanna make sure that you treat every part of the house because termites can move quickly. So I need to comb back the gravel here so that I can dig a trench that's gonna be 6 inches deep. And then once that trench is dug, that allows us to have greater access to the foundation and get deeper into that soil so that we can pour that Taurus SC chemical that I showed you at the beginning all along the trench and into the ground, which will then seep in under the foundation. And that's where we're gonna tackle most of these termites. So I'll show you a couple more areas that we're gonna treat around the home. All right, so on the back side of the house here, same thing. This is not gravel, but this is mulch and a bunch of weeds. So you need to pull all that back so that we can do the trench. And if you'll notice, this is the bathroom window. I was working right here, approximately in this 2-foot section in the bathroom on the inside, and that's where we did the termiticide foam into the drywall and into the stud. So in this treatment, I'm really gonna be focusing especially on this area to make sure that we get a lot of extra chemical in here because that's where the concentration of termites seems to be. So along the back corner of the house here, we have to do the same thing. And this is another 50 feet on the side of the home. So gonna be doing a lot of raking and then digging to make sure that we have access to the foundation. And then I'll show you a couple other tricks I'm gonna be using to make sure that we get that chemical under the foundation and really saturate the ground so we can take care of these termites. So now we gotta load up, got a couple shovels here. Let's get to work, let's get to digging. Okay, finish this side in pretty quick work here. Move the gravel about 8 to 10 inches to the left. And now I can go through and start shoveling out the trench. And then once that is done, I can start mixing the chemical and then we can get it in there and let it settle. And one quick recommendation is they tell you to treat the soil once you pull it out. So you don't want to put potentially termite infested dirt back on top of the treated area. So I'm gonna pull out the dirt, put it in a separate bucket here, and then we'll be able to treat that and then put it back so we don't have any concerns regarding the termites getting back into the soil from the top. Got everything trenched out on this side, about 40 feet down the garage. And so now it's time for the big bad Taurus SC. So what you'll notice here are some measurements, and we need 0.8 of an ounce for every gallon of water. So I'm gonna take a Home Depot bucket is what they recommend, mix it in. These are 5-gallon Home Depot buckets. So I'm gonna do 4 gallons is what the directions recommend. And so we're gonna need 0.8 times 4. And we're gonna pour that in the bucket and then add in some tap water and then mix it all together. And then we can start the treatment process on the outside here. I got the bucket filled, 4 gallons of termiticide right here. And then I have 10 feet marked off right by that shovel approximately. So it's gonna take me about 3, I would say, trips, 3 different bucket fills to cover this whole area, because the recommendation is 4 gallons per 10 feet. So I'm gonna coat this whole area, and then we're gonna fill it up again and repeat the process over and over again until we have the entire perimeter of the home covered and just bathing in termiticide. So let's get going. So now we have a little moat around the house, and again, the dirt and the ground is very hard in Arizona, so it's going to take a little bit for that to soak in, but that's good because we'll have a nice even coverage below the foundation here. So I'm again going to repeat the process 2 and 3 more times down the length of the garage here. All right, so one of the tricks I wanted to show you guys is I pulled out a piece of rebar, about 3-foot piece, and I'm gonna use it to go 45 degrees in and hammer in some extra channels below the foundation, and that will act as a little tunnel for the water to seep in deeper into the soil underneath the foundation to really penetrate and really get in to the area that those termites like to live under the house. So like this. So I just created an extra 12-inch space for more of the termiticide to get in and under the foundation into the soil. So that should be a little extra cherry on top in killing these termites. So I added about 10 different holes with the rebar here. You can kind of see 1, 2, 3. I did it about every 10 inches or so. And again, this is the area outside of the bathroom. Here's the window again, where I spotted the termites. They're approximately like right here in the wall. So I wanna make sure that this area is loaded up with extra chemical to make sure that we get deep under the foundation to penetrate the soil and take care of these termites. And again, we got about 50 feet here that we've trenched out all the way here. And again, we're gonna concentrate on pouring a lot of chemical right here. And it should go an extra 12 or 14 inches below the soil, which will help it penetrate a little bit deeper. All right, so the entire perimeter of the house is now treated, and I'm left with these trenches that we dug out. So as I mentioned at the beginning, I gotta replace the dirt. I gotta treat the dirt so there's no termites anywhere along the foundation. I've used almost the entire bottle of this Taurus SC. It's been great, pretty easy to use and mix in with water. So now I just need to go around the house and fill in these trenches, treat the dirt, and then we're gonna be done with the termite treatment. All right, so my DIY termite treatment is now complete. All 78 ounces are hopefully deep in the ground now, and I kind of know that they are because I did it myself. And I hope that this video gave you some confidence in tackling any termite issues that you might have by yourself. You can definitely do it for very nominal cost, maybe 120, 130 bucks. I did today's treatment for with those 2 different chemicals that we talked about, the termiticide foam and then the Taurus SC dilution that we used all around the perimeter. So until the next DIY video, I'll see you later.